Welcome to the Preferred Walk-On Show. I am your host, Seth Saunders. The FCS playoffs are in full swing, and we have a very special guest today. He has spent almost 4 decades on the main line, building Villanova football into one of the most resilient, disciplined, and relentlessly competitive programs at the FCS level. He is a culture engineer that has lived every role in the Wildcats program, helped build it brick by brick, and now leads his squad hell-bent on the pursuit of getting 1% better every single day. A big Preferred Walk-On welcome to Villanova head coach Mark Ferrante. Coach, welcome to the show.
Seth, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. And that was one heck of an intro right there. So,
Well,
I
hey,
don't know
man,
I don't know if it was deserved, but I appreciate it.
Oh, I think it's absolutely justified. As we were joking about off air, I am a proud William and Mary grad, so I have followed the Villanova program closely for years. And, it screams excellence to me. It always has. And you are a vital part of that. So I think it is certainly well-deserved. And you guys are coming off a really, really big win last weekend. I'm sure when that black bracket gets released and you see Harvard on the opposite side of the docket there, you're going, man, this team's undefeated till the last week of the season, been a great squad all year, really good offensively. And this is what we get. We got a home game, but this is who we got to play. And then you guys come out, hang a 50 burger, look absolutely outstanding. What were you most proud of from your team's effort last weekend?
Well, that's exactly what I was proud of, their effort. And we've been saying that about this squad all year. The effort has been there right from the beginning. Obviously, we started out a little slow in the season with some of the games, but the effort's always been there. Now we're matching it with the execution. So that's important. You got to get a little better each week. That's what we talk about. We got to practice well and prepare well if you expect to perform well. And that's what we did last week. Our guys came out and, played really hard. We've been playing better each and every week. We've gotten a little better each week because we do have a decent amount of experience coming back from a year ago in some positions, and then some other spots we were pretty young and pretty new. Well, now they have a lot more experience under their belt as you go from week 1 to, now week 12, 13, and wherever we are now. So, but really proud of the guys' preparation last week. You never know how it's going to go because it's the Thanksgiving break and it's quiet around campus and maybe more distractions in some ways, but less in other ways because they don't have class. So, you're always wondering how they're going to respond to that first round playoff game. Thankfully, we did have a home game. So I think that helps, anytime you get in the playoffs. I think playing at home, it can be an advantage. I hope it's not this week because we're the away team coming up, but we were excited about that. And yeah, like you said, as crazy as this may sound, because this was crazy when I first heard it, Harvard's been around a long, long time, as has Villanova. Villanova and Harvard have never played a game against each other before. Wow. That was the first matchup in Harvard and Villanova history. I would have thought, 1908, 22. I would have thought somewhere along those times we would have played Harvard, but we never played Harvard. And then, like you said, top 10 team most of the year, undefeated all the way through, and our guys, we don't look at that. We don't talk about rankings, where we are, who anyone else is or anything like that. We just want to have our good Tuesday practice, good Wednesday practice, good Thursday practice, and prepare properly to play well. But I do think, because in the world we live in today, you kind of can't unsee things. You're going to see things whether you're looking for it or not. And I think our guys did notice that we were not supposed to win that game, according to some of the media outlets that were out there. Whether that put forth a little chip on their shoulder or not, I don't know. But our guys came out and played well. Like I said, I thought we had a good week of practice. So bottom line is, in my mind, if you prepare well, you have a chance to play well. So that's what we did. So I was really proud of like you said at the front end, the effort and then the execution that matched the effort we gave in practice and then on game day.
One of the things that I think is so singularly unique about y'all's ecosystem and y'all's program, and I think it helps with identity, is the tradition, right? And in the history of the program since the revamp in the early 80s, there was the legendary Coach Talley, and then there's you, right? And so I think that string of continuity now for 40 years of Wildcat football is an incredible thing. And I'm just so interested given your story. You were an excellent, excellent player at St. Lawrence playing for Coach Talley. He obviously recruits you, coaches you, and then you coach with him for years and years. Just tell me about the influence he had on your life as a coach and a mentor and what that's meant for your journey.
Yeah, no, it's been great. He gave me my first job, right? First of all, he coached me up at St. Lawrence, as you already mentioned, and gave me an opportunity to play college football, D3 college football. I'm not quite as athletic as the guys that are running around our facility in these days, but a great experience, great opportunity. And I would credit Coach Talley and then my dad are the two most influential people of why I ended up choosing the profession I chose. I remember on some of our bus trips, because Coach Talley back then did coach the quarterbacks, and that is the position I did play back in the day. And I remember on some bus trips, during my senior year, he would ask me, "So, what do you think you're going to do after you graduate?" And, like some college seniors, I have no idea, would be my response. But my dad has been a coach. My dad was a college official for as long as I can remember, and then a replay official. He retired when he was like 80. So it's been in the house and in the system a long time. So it's kind of the upbringing. He coached me in Little League, coached my brother in Pop Warner, and then high school football. I went to a different high school, so I actually played against my dad and my brother. So that was unique dinner conversations at the time. But, it's kind of in the DNA, I guess, if you will. So those are the two people. And then Coach Talley, like I said, gave me my first job at St. Lawrence. I coached there the year after I graduated, so I never went out to do anything else. It's how I started as a GA up there. And then from there, I went to Wagner College. From there, I went to Lafayette College, and then I reunited with Coach Talley in 1987 down here. The ironic thing about those two stops is Coach Russo at Lafayette at the time and Coach Walt Hamline at Wagner at the time all coached together with Coach Talley at Brown University before they all went on to their head coaching journeys themselves. So, you
Cool.
know, it was it was phone call after phone call after phone call and helped line me up for those opportunities. And then, you make the most of them. And then when I got here, because 1 year at St. Lawrence, 1 year at Wagner, 2 seasons at Lafayette, and then, so I'm on the regular coaching track, right? You're staying a year or two and then you're moving on, which, sometimes people don't even get that anymore these days.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I got here, and each year my wife and I, Georgia and I were like, maybe this is the year we're going to the next one. Maybe this is the year. And then it just stayed constant, you get to the crossroads, you get to the fork in the road, and some people take the turn and some people stay straight. I stayed straight and stayed at Villanova. And what I've said to people over the years, and Dr. Helen Lafferty, who's a professor here, former president, Youngstown, she's been here for a long time. She was inducted into the Villanova Athletic Hall of Fame. And she said it perfectly. She said it exactly the way I feel. If you love what you do and you love where you're doing it, and you love the people you're doing it with, then that's a win. And that's kind of how I felt about this place. And that's kind of what's kept me here. You know, my wife, Georgia, and I have built our home here, and my son graduated from here. So it's become home. It's become home for us and our family. And it's been a great experience. And Coach Talley's the one that provided me that opportunity. And then thankfully, Mark Jackson gave me the opportunity to be the head coach when Coach Talley retired after the 2016 season.
Well, it has worked out quite well for Villanova fans. Y'all have had a great bit of success under your guidance. 3 straight 10-win seasons, 3 straight appearances in the playoffs, and a big one coming up this Saturday in Bethlehem, facing a very, very tough Lehigh squad. What has stood out to you as you've watched film on the Mountain Hawks this week?
Well, I mean, we just talked about Harvard up until their last game being undefeated. Well, Lehigh is one of the only two remaining undefeated teams in FCS. They're very well coached. They play hard. They score a lot of points. They don't give up many points. They take care of the football. They don't have a lot of turnovers. They're just a really good team and a really good program. And, the one thing that I guess helps a little bit is it's only an hour and 10 minutes away. So, it's a fairly easy trip, as far as the travel perspective. So, I feel fortunate about that. But when you look at their team, they got Yoder, the running back, who's all over
Mhm.
the place. He had a really great game in their big emotional rivalry game against Lafayette. I think he scored 4 touchdowns. They're fast and physical to the ball on defense. They got a really good nose guard, number 0, who creates havoc in the backfield, and they do a good job on their pass rush when you're in the back opportunities. So their secondary flies to the ball and they're going to hit you. They have good size in the secondary. So there's shoot, I guess watching them on film, we played them in 22 and 23. So I'm sure they have some guys that were there then, just like we have some guys that were on our team then. But none of us are the same, right? Each year, no matter what you have returning, one year to the next is going to be different, no matter how many returners you have coming back. So, but we haven't played them. We didn't play them last year, but we did play them in 23. So some of our older guys have been to the stadium, so it's not going to be totally foreign to us, like if you're going somewhere that you've never been before. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. But, we got to go in and play fundamentally sound, like I've been talking about. We got to go and give that effort that we talked about in this last game against Harvard. We got to practice well. We had a couple good practices so far this week. Well, and we're not done yet. We got to have another one tomorrow to make sure we go out because I think we're fairly evenly matched when you look at things. We think we run the ball pretty well. We know they
Mhm.
run the ball well. We don't turn the ball over a whole lot, knock on wood. I hope I didn't just jinx myself. They don't turn the ball over a lot. So I think when you have a game like this with two teams that are semi-similar in their approach and their attack and how they're trying to play, it's going to come down to who makes the fewest mistakes. Because I think both teams are going to do things well, who's going to trip up a little bit. So again, let's make sure we control the ball, don't have any turnovers. Let's make sure we don't shoot ourselves in the foot with those what I call mental mistakes, the pre or post snap penalties.
Mhm.
There's going to be some penalties. There might be a hold here, a pass interference there, between the whistles, that type of aggressive play. But it's the false starts or the defensive jumping off sides or something where you lack a little discipline at the end of a game and do something that causes a personal foul. Those are the things we got to try to avoid and just be the more disciplined, more physical, more fundamentally sound team.
Coach, I'm a big believer that every football team is a living, breathing organism, and who you are in August is not who you are in November and December. And that certainly seems true of your squad. And y'all have been playing outstanding football for the last 3 months. What has this team taught you as a coach and as a leader?
Well, we talk about it all the time, but not every team listens as well or follows as well. You know what I mean? But here's when I think what happens when you have the success we've been having, it's because the players are handling the business. It's a player-driven team. You know what I mean? We don't have to tell them a lot of things. We don't have a lot of drama coming in and out of my office. There's not a lot of off-the-field things that I've dealt with at all. So that means there's good leadership in the locker room and there's good leadership across campus. Majority of our guys live on campus. We don't have too many off-campus residents. So they're around each other a lot here because the majority of our team does reside on campus. So I'm really proud of the resilience. We've been down at some half times. There's been other years where halftime is, and then all of a sudden you hear someone yelling at somebody else. We don't have that right now. Everyone's kind of just going in there and say, okay, we got to play better in the next half. So they're behind each other instead of blaming each other, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. Because,
Mhm.
we've all seen it both ways over time if you're in it long enough. So the resilience with this team has been really good. We already talked about the effort that this team, regardless of a 50-point game at Penn State or Monmouth or where we are now. And we're definitely a much different team because, as I mentioned, we had a lot of youth in the secondary. Well, now they're learning how to play together more because we have 5 of them back there. We're a 3-3-5. So that's some parts that got to connect a little bit. And early on, we kind of weren't there yet. We have a new quarterback, a grad guy, Pat McQuaid, obviously.
Mhm.
So he had to earn his stripes and earn the respect of the team as the season's been going. And he's done a great job. He's now the leader of the offense, which is pretty much what you want from that position. But he's not going to come in and try to just take over when he shows up in January. He wanted to come in and earn his stripes. So I think he probably held his personality back a little bit from what I see him now. He's the first one in the end zone, congratulating whoever scores. He's waiting for the linemen when they come off at the extra point to dap them up. I mean, truly is. His personality has come forward. And then, with the wideout, Luke Colella, our transfer there, those two had to, get some timing together and so on.
Mhm.
So I'm really proud of the work ethic, really proud of the resilience and obviously the togetherness because the chemistry, no matter what you say, right? Everywhere, whether it's the NFL, whether it's college, whether it's high school, shoot, Pop Warner, people break down on family, right? 1, 2, family on me, family on three. 1, 2, 3, family. People say it all the time. You hear it when you see the highlight films. I think we do have that. I think our locker room is pretty tight right now. And, I think the chemistry and camaraderie is good and the communication amongst themselves is good because they'll hear things from us, but they're the ones that have to live the experience.
All right, Coach, last question, then we'll let you go. And we ask this question of all our coaches. All right, let's get in Doc Brown's DeLorean and let's go back to Canton, 1982. And you get to give one piece of advice to senior year Mark as he's walking off the field for the Saints. What do you tell him?
Well, here's the advice that we had coming off the field for that last time because, what was said before the game was, "Hey guys, 4 quarters to play, the rest of your life to remember." And you remember the last one for sure. And that was something that stuck with me. I say it to this day when we do have our senior day, that guys hear that from me in the locker room. Especially our guys that are using up and exhausting their eligibility. You're going to remember that last home senior day game. And, so that's something we talk about. But after that, it's basically, hey, be a good dude, make good decisions, and good things will happen to good people.
Well, you have had a heck of a run, Coach, and you were doing great things for that Villanova program. We will certainly look forward to watching y'all on Saturday and know you will have the boys prepared and ready to go. Before we let you go, please tell anybody listening how they can support you and how they can support the Villanova program.
Well, shoot, the number one support is we got to get more people to come to the games. That's what we need right there. And obviously, we have a football club, so we have a lot of members that join in there. So our football club is all about three-pronged things. It's about three things. It's about networking and providing opportunities for our guys when they graduate. So if people want to get involved with our program and our university and helping our guys network with internships and things of that nature, that's always a nice thing. Mentorship. Obviously, financial support is always good, no matter who wants to get involved there. Every little bit helps. And then fun. Our club's all about having fun. So when you come to the games with our guys in the football club, we're on a great tailgate behind the stadium. So, that's what it's all about. Friendships, football, financing, and fun.
Well, Coach, good luck to y'all against Lehigh this weekend. Continued success for you and the program.
Thanks again, Seth. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.